Welcome to episode 120 of the Reptile Gumbo podcast. Turn y'all's microphones up so y'all can actually talk. There we go. So tonight, Katie is not with us. We are joined by Rachel over here.
Hey guys.
So Rachel's filling in for Katie. You have to talk into the microphone. It needs to be on too. That helps. Up there we go.
Oh, we're some professionals.
Night. Oh my goodness. Hello.
Yeah, there we go. If you're talking into the mic and it's on, those are two things that help.
I thought y'all would have it ready for me.
Well, that's what you were thinking. So yeah, Katie won't be here mainly because she's getting over COVID. She's fine. She just has a cough, and our guest tonight is apparently going to make her laugh because she thinks he's funny. I think he's funny looking, but and she can't sit through a conversation if she laughs. So I've been told to shut up many times for the last couple of days.
Well, she did sound like she was really going at it a few minutes ago.
Yeah, she's coughing up a lung down there. Let's go ahead and get a response out of the way. I'm not going to do all what she does. If you need a rack, contact Robert
Or Cage.
or Cage,
Or me.
Yeah, or Rachel.
or if you need Rachel. Wait, I'm not sure that's how that's.
Not this rack, the snake
No,
rack.
Don't contact.
No, that's my rack.
Anyways, if you need a reptile rack, contact Lone Star Reptile Racks, lsreptileracks.com.
Mm-hmm.
Get one soon. You're going to be in North Richmond Hills, Richland. I don't know. Dallas, right?
Yeah.
There. Dallas, Arlington, up there in that area this weekend for the Lone Star show. And then you'll be in Longview the next week. So,
and then I don't think I have another show for
a while, because the next show is Slidell, which is July 23rd. So I'll go ahead and do Herps while we're at it.
Yeah.
Longview, Texas, as we just said, June 25th, 26th. She'll be there. Slidell, Louisiana, July 23rd, 24th. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, July 30th, 31st. You will not be at that one. Corpus Christi, August 13th, 14th. You'll be at that one. Bryan College Station, August 20th, 21st. Austin, Texas, August 27th and 28th. And then back to Conroe, September 10th and 11th. And then New Orleans, September 17th and 18th. So we just had Conroe. It was weird.
Yes.
So it's normally like our busiest show location out of all the herp shows. And the economy finally showed its ugly head when it came to the reptile shows. There were not many people there.
Yeah.
And the ones that were there were not really buying stuff. Unless you were Carl Vargas selling lychees, then you were doing good. I'd have to give Carl a plug. He did pretty well. But he also has some amazing lychees. But yeah, it was...
People prepared to spend that kind of money.
Yeah, they've been saving that money for a while. But it was rough. People can't afford gas and food, and so when that's the stuff that they have to buy, snakes and lizards and racks and cages tend to go by the wayside. Unless you're a rodent breeder, rodent guys always kill it.
Yeah,
because even if you don't want to buy a new snake, you still got to feed the snake you have. So our rodent guys did well. So that was fine. It was rough. You did okay. I mean, not as good as a normal Conroe.
No.
I sold a few snakes, so I was able to pay for being there that weekend, and it's less things I have to feed, so that went all right.
You got rid of that
children's python?
Children's python.
Yeah, it's Blake Wilson's problem now. But Blake Wilson's used to having bitey things, so it'll be fine.
He was happy that it was bitey.
Yeah, so he'll be great. I'm trying to think, nothing really there this weekend that I needed, so I didn't buy any. What did I buy? Oh, no, I did buy something. It was Katie's birthday weekend, so Katie couldn't go. Like I said, she had COVID, so she didn't go. But I got her a leopard tortoise. Shout out to Sean Gray for helping me with that one. But I got her a leopard tortoise for her birthday. So I know now we've got way too many tortoises for a house that we can't actually put them out in the yard. We have 4 tortoises now in this house, and they can't go outside. And my sulcata's a dick, and I may have to get a new tortoise table for my redfoot.
So far, our redfoot and cherryhead seem to be cohabiting nicely.
Yeah. Well, they're both redfoot, so
but she's like half his size. She's smaller.
Oh, she's
yeah. No, my sulcata is enormous, and it keeps wanting to just like crush right over my redfoot. Well, cherryhead redfoot.
Yeah.
Our two, they kind of avoid each other. They're always on opposite sides of the tank.
Well, I figured I'd go ahead. Katie wanted a leopard tortoise forever, and we just bought that other cherryhead, the little baby. I was like, well, if we're raising up a baby tortoise, might as well raise up another baby tortoise. So we got 2 little babies now.
I want a leopard tortoise too.
It's cute.
It is cute.
Sponsor wise, also Wiregrass Exotics. If you're over in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, go visit our friends Wiregrass Exotics in Ozark, Alabama. for all your feeders and reptile needs. Who else am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting somebody. I got you. Oh, Herps. No, I got everybody.
Yeah, you got everybody.
I did it. I'm thrown off because Katie normally does yours, and it's too much work for me. I did all the shows. I did that. Way to go. Also, this month's giveaway. Don't forget, all you have to do is go over to our Facebook page. It's pinned at the top. Just tell us the favorite guest that we've had on in the last 100 and now 20 episodes. Who's your favorite guest? And then you're entered in for a year membership to USARC. Again, we will either have it so they add on to your membership. So when it needs to be renewed, we'll do that. Or you can give it as a gift, whatever you want to do. But it'll be a year membership to USARC. All you got to do is just go on over to our Facebook page. Tell us who your favorite guest is in the past year and a half, 2 years, however long I've been doing this, 120 episodes. See you in the chat. We got Antoine. I don't like Antoine Hood. He didn't come to visit us.
Hey, Antoine.
He didn't come visit us. Forget him. Darren, Sean. That's John Grant. Look at John Grant.
Sean Gray.
Forget Sean Gray.
Who's up above? Is that Tracy?
Yeah, Tracy's in there. Then good old Facebook user.
Yeah, I need to see who that is.
Then Victor was the first one in there. So let's go ahead and get our guest in here. So he's not just a little guy sitting down here in the box. There's our guest. Our guest this week is Chris Eaton from Snakes and the Fatman. How's it going, Chris?
What's up, lady and gentlemen?
Hey, Chris.
Get that stupid fucking hat on. God.
Oh, yeah, calm the fuck down. This hat is more popular than you, all right, you
That's a
dickhead?
fact.
So, seriously,
I'm really digging your shirt there, Chris.
that's what I'm saying. I purposely put this shirt on for a reminder to James that for 6 months you guys have had shirts on sale on your website, and James doesn't even have a website yet. So, I know you're working on it during the summer. I know.
I am, and my computer sucks. Look, it took 10 minutes just to get it to open up a website. So
That Facebook user. Oh, he popped up. It's Rippy.
Oh, well, hello, Rippy.
One of my
Rippy?
like one of my best friends.
It can't be a real name.
His name's Rodney.
Rodney?
It's not White Owl Johnson either, but it's Rodney Johnson.
Rodney,
one
that sounds like a porno name.
Yeah, I would go by Rippy too.
Rippy Johnson.
Yeah, one of my oldest friends.
I'm running behind. I'm trying to pull up. I posted this week's question on our page, and then I also posted it in actual reptile groups because this week's question was a watered down version of what Chris asked for me to post, because I posted Chris's and then no one felt comfortable answering it. So I wrote a nicer version.
Gee, Chris.
It says the question was, do you think reptile Facebook groups do more good or harm to the reptile hobby? And explain. And I got a lot of answers. I just gotta get everything pulled up here. So talk amongst yourselves as I do this.
Chris, Sean Gray says, "What's up?"
What's up, Sean Gray? I'm seeing all the people here, and I thought, oh yeah, White Owl Johnson. There you go.
Yep.
Although his poor name is officially Shooter Johnson, according to him.
Yeah, apparently.
Shooter.
That's what I wish my mom would have named me Richard, so I could be Dick Powers.
Seriously, they
You're all right.
I was wishing that my parents would tell me my middle name was Always. You know,
Chris always.
Yeah. Used to be every day in high school. It's like, don't bother Chris. He's eating. You know, and I'm like, oh.
That was funny the first time I heard it, not the
you
millionth time.
Fucking douches. Right.
Yeah. That's like now everybody's sharing, every fucking business, every snake business is sharing the thing between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard where they're talking, and at the end it's like, you should go, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, y'all are so shit was it was mildly entertaining the first time I read it.
It's not even fucking funny.
No.
I mean, these bottom 80% of the reptile hobby are just the worst people in the fucking world. And they think they're funny, and they're not funny. And
80% of the reptile hobby. I love that.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Which we'll talk about as soon as I get all of this.
Well, it's like earlier in a local group, someone posted that they were looking for a ball python. Are there any breeders locally? And this one person, she pipes up and is like, yeah, we haven't produced anything yet, but, and I'm like, well,
then you're not a breeder.
What are you fucking chiming in for? Right. They're not going to buy something you haven't made.
Yeah.
Ah.
But they plan on it, and they probably have a logo, and they have all this other.
Oh, they have everything.
Banners,
they have YouTube channel, Facebook group, everything.
Those are Chris's favorite people. Yeah. All right. So let's get to this question. I'll read through some of these. I mean, I already know what we'll get to Chris's response at the end because I already know kind of how that's going to go. But let's go through several. We got some good discussions on these. Again, it was, do you think reptile Facebook groups do more good or harm to the reptile hobby? And explain. So Travis Wyman, Dr. Travis Wyman, said, I feel they're pretty harmful overall. They contribute to the group think mentality because people with differing thoughts / opinions / feelings either get booted out or chased away. So you are left with 10,000 splintered collectives and no unification among the hobby. That's a fucking doctor right there. That's quit using big ass words.
He's right.
It's true though.
God damn it, Travis. And then our buddy Drew Schultz, who we saw this weekend at Conroe from Learnings, who said, yep, I actually left a series of well-known groups that I originally loved. They push the next level husbandry, but the overall culture has become extremely elitist and full of gatekeeping. If you don't have a halogen floodlight on a dimming thermostat, Arcadia UVB and Arcadia Jungle Dawn LEDs on each and every enclosure, you're a bad keeper. I finally left when they were trashing some of the newer developments like LED UVs. And the kind of dogmatic approach to husbandry is exactly what they tried to change, which is true. I commented the other day in a group, someone posted a random UVB LED light. And I suggested, everybody, all of the responses on there were, we don't recommend UV or LED lights, whatever. And I said, well, I would recommend VivTech, which, by the way, free plug, 20% off VivTech, 15, 20, 50.
Sure.
You get a discount. I got to go back and look. Using Gumbo 22 on VivTech when you check out to get your light bulbs. But I suggested VivTech, and of course, they were like, well, we don't recommend that, yada, yada, yada. I was like, well, I've got good results. And the person was like, well, what kind of good results? Animals like it and they grow. I don't know what to tell you. So, but of course, they're sticking with what they've always known.
Well, so the group that I think that they're referring to, it is run by another podcaster, and it also has this English guy who is militantly anti anything but gigantic bioactive enclosures. And I'm fairly certain they're sponsored by Arcadia.
Was that the douche that said, I'm on a rant right now about keeping ball pythons in drawers?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's him.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. That guy's a dick. I mean,
he is. Well, they were going to do a debate, him and someone else. And the person that offered to be the moderator is militantly anti-rack. So how can you fucking moderate it when you're on one side? So, yeah, I hate those people with a passion. Not just because I sell racks, but because my way is the only way approach is stupid.
Yeah.
Well, that's been an issue with the hobby lately. For a long time. It's also the same people that learned one thing 30 years ago and they refuse to change as well. Like
Correct.
On both spectrums, like and again, I say it all the time with our country is that we're a extremist kind of culture. Everything has to be extremes. It either has to be this or that, and that whole gray area in the middle gets thrown out, and it's always wrong, according to a lot of these groups. Let's see. Charlie McKee said, I have left almost all keeper groups except for the one I moderate. Few are decent, but for the most part, it's like the meme where the guy who represents old keepers, shoots the new keepers, and is like, why do they do this to us?
Yeah. And Charlie, she is like, if I have something that I'm not sure IDing a snake, she's the one.
Yeah.
She's extremely intelligent, knows her animals. And it's funny because in a couple of the groups, there's this one guy who always comments after she does, yes, Charlie is correct. And it's like, I guess she can't answer it unless a man says.
You see it all the time. You'll get a correct identification, and then the next person, it's always a dude.
Always.
Has to go, yeah, it's a whatever.
Yeah.
We already know that.
Yeah, that was like 3 hours ago, bro. We're good.
They got to get that last word in.
Bye, Sean Gray.
Where's Sean Gray going?
He's got to run. He's got work.
What work does Sean Gray have to do?
Yeah. Sean's just a little busy.
You don't do shit. Aaron King says he manages one himself, but we don't allow any crap to take place. If we see someone not taking the reptiles care seriously or cut corners, then we do say something, whether it upsets the member or not. It's a slippery slope.
Because that's still your opinion.
Yeah, it's a slippery. So that's a problem with a lot of these groups is the moderators. It depends on who the moderators are. If you have,
right.
I mean, obviously, you don't want people in there bashing each other, and you don't want giving like if someone goes, "I use heat rocks." Yeah, I would probably delete that one too. We can all. That's the one thing we can all agree on. Heat rocks suck. But it gets very, very slippery slope when you start taking away, especially the cutting corners. There's a ton of ways you can cut corners and still do things properly. So not everybody can go buy a giant stack of focus cube cages and put them in their cave.
Yeah, how did those come out, Chris?
Came out great.
You got them set up?
I'll tell you one thing, though. If I get any more, I'm going to have them drop ship because having to put them together, you know, is a pain in the ass, especially when you're just one dude. But but they look incredible. So
so they shipped them flat and you had to put them together there.
Yeah.
They
were fairly easy, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure with Steven, his designs are probably super easy to put together and super intuitive.
Right, but it's still like one guy putting together a 3-foot cage or a 4-foot cage.
Right.
You know, you should have someone on the other side. You know,
and that one guy is Chris.
Yeah.
So.
If he didn't live so far away, he could have a little help.
Fucking. All right. James got better calm the fuck down now. All right. Because he's fucking getting an attitude already.
Well, what did I say? Hey, I am part of Chris's Patreon, so I did see you got a frog.
That's right. Well, I didn't get it yet. It's coming tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
So.
What kind of frog are you getting?
So
the
tree frog, a dumpy frog. I wanted a frog like me that was lazy, fucking wasn't gonna, you know, just sits there and fucking eats. He's never gonna catch a frisbee or anything like that. He's never gonna hop more than he has to. That's the kind of pet I need.
Which frogs are catching frisbees? What kind of frogs?
And I don't think they chirp and shit either, make noise.
I think the males do, but I could give a fuck. I mean, it's right at my neighbor's wall, so I don't
care.
Also, you'll see Elizabeth K. Nash. She wrote a novel, so I'm gonna try and sum it up some. But she feels like there's a lot of fake information and rumors, bad stigma in groups, overall controversy on how to best keep reptiles. Same kind of stuff we've been saying. A lot of it is the debate stuff. People, we can't disagree in groups because it turns into an argument when people disagree in groups, and so they end up kicking things out. But that's the overall part. It's a huge. I can't read that whole thing. It's huge, but I agree with what she said. Becca Schultz said, "I absolutely love learning from more advanced keepers from all over the world. You just have to find the good groups, which is the problem." This person's from the UK. Says, "I'm from the UK, so completely different over here." It is, but most of the groups are mostly filled with actual reptile people, and most of the groups are relatively small enough that moderators are able to ensure that nothing stupid is posted in the first place. Must be nice, I guess. I don't know. I know Chris had the what's the woman's name from UK that you had on?
Ashley.
Yeah, and she was talking about all the different rules they have for just the shows over there.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid there. It's like, you know, it sets everything back fucking 20 years. You know, but I remember Mike Wilbanks talking about it when he went to Germany one year, and he's like, you got to have 3 times the space of a display cage in order to put a ball python in so it could stretch out. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and all those stupid rules, like if you're a business, you can't sell.
That was the weirdest fucking
advertise,
thing.
Yeah, but if you're you can advertise, but you can't sell. But if you're a hobbyist, you can sell, but you can advertise.
Right. It's so fucking stupid, man.
Yeah, so if you're a hobbyist, you can go there and you can sell snakes, but you can't wear a shirt with your name on it. You can't have tablecloths. You can't have banners.
And you can't have spider ball pythons.
You can't have any spider or anything there.
You get thrown out. Yeah.
And if you're a business, you can go show off animals. You can have a banner. You can have T-shirts. You can have all that, but you can't sell anything there.
You mean if you're a hobbyist?
No, if you're a business.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You can have all.
Yeah. That's right.
So
that makes no sense.
No,
neither does talking over the microphone, not into the microphone.
Well, shit. I keep moving it, trying to get it where it's not like up my nose. Damn.
Never mind. Your husband's here. Someone would be nice. So also, a few more responses.
Somebody else for once.
A few more responses. Our friend Laney said, "Some are good. The ones started by the people who get booted for spreading bad information and keep spreading bad information need to go bye-bye. But alas, that makes us the bad guys again for not letting them." But you'll see that a lot of times. They'll get kicked out of a group because
she's talking about David Dibble. 100%. This guy. It's called Non-Judgmental Ball Python.
Oh, I've heard you talk about that group.
He is a fucking piece of shit. He is very much a misogynist. If a woman comes in that group and says anything he doesn't agree with, he sends them like 20 messages, kicks them out of the group.
That's harassment.
I mean, obviously, come on, she should be at least doing the dishes or cooking something.
Right. Making sandwiches or something.
Make me.
Okay. Really?
But he, I got kicked out. Immediately.
Chris.
Took me like 30 minutes.
I'd say it wouldn't take you long, I'm
No.
sure.
Yeah, he's one of those that I would love to just run into at some point. But he lives in Florida with his mom, and he's like 50 something years old, and literally lives in his mother's basement.
So he's that guy.
He's that guy.
The troll on the internet that lives in his mother's basement.
100%.
Hashtag winning.
He created this group 2 to 3 months after he got his first ball python.
Well, he's an expert at that point.
He was 100%. He'll tell you, I've done all the research, and I am the comment that got me kicked out that I commented on was like, the definition of an expert is an individual who knows more than the average person. So I am a ball python expert. And I said, you're a ball python idiot. Or maybe fucktard. I don't remember.
Well, what was with the Facebook group where Kabilka was like saying shit, and someone came in and basically started talking to him like he didn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, that was World of Ball Pythons.
We'll get to that group in a second too.
Yeah.
This one gave a list of good and bad. So the good is it spreads awareness about habitat destruction and benefits reptiles. There are articles that get spread pretty well. Like we try to put a lot of stuff in our Facebook group. Teaches people how to care for them, combats false information, or at least tries. The bad, the pettiness, the false information that still gets passed around, people getting slandered, which we can talk about in a little bit as well. Allows bad keepers and breeders to easily sell stuff, which is true, even though you can't sell things on Facebook. And I'm sure I'm missing some stuff, but I don't have time to really think about it, is what the person said. Alan Kin said, depends on who runs it and why it was started. Stephen Priscilla said, the good ones spread knowledge and promote responsible pet ownership. The bad ones are just people buying the flashiest reptiles they can own and showing how poorly they keep them. So, and then our friend Kristen said, it's just Pandora's box was this question. So, one other person, because this was a question I posted in a reptile group, and she just posted a meme, said that's bait, and pointed towards the question. Kind of was. That's why I kind of posted it in there. I did post it in another reptile group, but I guess it hasn't gotten approved yet. It was kind of a larger one that's also full of dumbasses. So I was really hoping that one would get approved, but it did not. Chris, what is your opinion on this? I know your opinion, but go ahead.
Yeah, fuck all those groups. I mean, the worst one is FBI feedback groups. I mean, that's the worst fucking, pieces of shit that fucking, I mean, that's like all the pieces of shit in the bottom 80% that I always talk about that could just go fuck right off. I hate them all. All right.
Which is a shame, because those groups as an idea are a great idea, because there are definitely people out there that people need to be warned about. But the problem is it comes out to someone being upset about something that's really not an issue, and then they make it a mountain out of a molehill and just bash this person's whole life and career.
And one of the biggest one, the girl that runs it, she's the sole admin. So
that's dangerous.
Right. She loves PayPal. So if you say anything negative about PayPal in there, she shuts the comment. She'll tell you you're wrong and shuts the comment. The only reason you had trouble at PayPal is because you broke the rules.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
And will not entertain. I'm like, she must work for PayPal or something. I don't know. Because I've seen numerous people try to post on there about the issues they have with PayPal, and she shuts it down like that. And I'm like, that's enough for me. Getting the fuck out of here.
Which is ridiculous, because you get people that actually have experience with PayPal fucking them over, and she gets upset with that.
Nope. Do it, Chris.
I've talked so much shit about them, and they still haven't kicked me out. It's interesting as fuck, because they're the worst people in the world. Like somebody will be like, and they didn't say this particular name, but I'll just use it. It's like, has anybody heard of Southern Star Reptiles? They haven't answered me in 90 minutes. I don't know. Seems shady. Yeah. And immediately the people that look at that have a shady opinion of the person that they're talking to. Fuck them.
Yep.
Bunch of fucking under 30 fucking entitled white woman cunts, I just really can't stand. I mean, I know you really don't use that word on your show, but
Katie's on here.
You could put it out. Yeah, fuck. I know if Katie was here, she'd be like shaking her fucking head at me. But
I'm just gonna
it's just the worst group. And then they just had that thing with fucking Kayla and Billy. That fucking she was dragging his name through the fucking mud, and Billy's been around for a while. Billy's done a shit ton for the community. Billy's fucking supported USARK in the form of thousands and thousands of dollars. And then she's just like, oh, this snake that I tested 6 months after I got it from Billy had Nido, so Billy has to have Nido in his fucking collection. Yeah. Fuck you. You know, you fucking pet tubing fucking dumb bitch. I mean, I don't want to say dumb bitch, but, you know, I mean, really.
But dumb bitch.
I mean that was the chick that leaked the email that when I told you girls to slap on some makeup for the Hot Chicks episode.
Oh, Lord.
And got all the fem Nazis after me. So I do not like her at all. So,
and the funny thing is you never even once remotely said anything inappropriate to any of the females that were actually on the All Hot Chicks episode. Like, nobody cared that you said what you said. We were like, oh, okay, whatever.
Well, really, I mean, shouldn't you slap on some fucking makeup if you're going to go on something that's going to be seen by 200 people? You know, it's
I fixed my makeup before I came.
Yeah, I had to bring Rachel's makeup over here because she met me over here so she could fix it before we came up here.
I put my makeup on.
I will say this. Fucking Rachel looks so good. Like fucking that. I mean, she, she caused me to spill more seed than Muhammad Ali at a bird field. Okay. So fucking, I
hey, me too.
And more people like hot chicks than like fat dumpy chicks, right?
Sure.
I mean, it's just common sense.
I mean, I wore a tank top just for you, Chris.
What's that?
I wore a tank top just for you.
That's what I'm saying.
Can you talk into the microphone just for you?
I have been. Oh my God. Turn it up.
I know you act like this is your first time recording, babe.
I don't like being on the microphone like this.
Well, we can hear you when you do it, though.
But I feel like I'm gonna like.
Well, just don't suck it, and we'll be good.
Right?
Oh my God! All right. Yeah, that's yeah. What James just said is worse than anything I ever said to the girls.
That is not true.
Oh no,
that's absolutely true.
So the Facebook group. So going back to that thing with Billy, so there's another guy, and I don't want to say his fucking name, and I barely know him.
Don't be a bitch. Say his name.
His name. All I know is his name's Elijah, and I'm not gonna give his YouTube.
Oh yeah, he's a
piece of shit.
Yeah,
he badmouths. He finds a way to badmouth Travis in everything.
Yeah,
in everything.
I noticed that too.
Really? Always, yeah. He's always talking about how Travis Wyman doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes like Nido and viruses and this. I'm like, he's a doctor. Like this dude's a computer informations guy or something like that. Like he's not. And the recent video that got sent, he's talking about Nido as if he's a Nido expert, and he goes through this and he throws in there. No reason to talk about Travis, but brings up Travis again about how Travis, what he says, and he's wrong and this and that because he's misquoting everything. But the problem is he has a voice online and he really shouldn't. He doesn't know shit. He's not an expert.
Is this on YouTube or Facebook?
On YouTube.
He's on YouTube, but not a lot of people listen to him. But also he lost me with the fucking matching nail polish.
Yeah.
You know, like that's I'm just like, dude, come on, man.
But so I'll get sent stuff every now and then, but it's him. He finds ways in multiple videos to badmouth Travis, and he called in the most recent. He called Travis a celebrity, and I was like, "Well, that's fucking hilarious." I was like, "Not sure anybody's ever called Travis Wyman a celebrity, but okay."
This dude looks like a fucking.
I was saying, he must be a celebrity in his mind.
Yeah. Well, he said something like, "I was on the Holdback Rack podcast this weekend, and on something that he was on, he was like." Yeah, I saw Chris Eaton on the Holdback Rack. It was interesting. And I'm like, dude, go fuck yourself, you fucking degenerate fuck.
He's the one who had the whole thing about the end of Morph Market.
Yeah.
Was posting all that shit. Yeah.
Because he gets pissed off because Travis is also part of that.
Right.
So.
Right. He has a vendetta against Travis. I was
like, he's hard up for Travis.
Yeah.
You need to take a picture of his dick and send it to this guy. All right, dude. Here you go.
Here's your fantasy.
Well, it's funny. In his video, he's talking about Nido and how vets aren't a good thing. They're not a good source because they don't really know about Nido. And he starts like talking like ARAV, which is the Association of Reptile and Amphibian Veterinarians. They don't really have a stance on Nido, so you can't really go to them. But then on the other side, he starts talking about Pia Barlini, who does know a lot about Nido and how good of a resource she is. I'm like, Pia works with ARAV.
Right.
She's a vet tech, but works with ARAV. Like, you're a fucking dumbass. That's the same thing.
So don't go to a vet, go to a vet tech, is what he's saying.
Go to just Pia, who is also part of ARAV.
Well, also the thing is that there's so much bullshit information about Nido out there. Like, I've talked to vets that said, haven't done enough research to know whether it's transmitted vertically yet. And the Nido people are telling you, oh yeah, it's not transmitted vertically. Okay. And then you talk to somebody who says you could test a snake in your facility and it's negative. And if you ship it out and the person tests it and it's positive, the shipping stress to the snake triggered the Nido in it. So basically what they're saying is every snake on the planet could possibly have Nido. It's just waiting on a triggering event that'll, test positive. So
like, and the problem is it's a virus that sits in tons of collections that just never does anything. Also, like, so Pia's got a green tree python that is physically from the outside healthy.
She has a whole room of them. Yeah.
Yeah. But this thing throws the highest cultures of Nido than any other animal they've ever tested. But outside, it's fine. Now it's obviously separated from all the healthy animals because it can still spread it. So it's a weird virus. And for this guy who is not a fucking doctor to sit there and have an almost hour-long podcast on YouTube about Nido, I'm like, what the fuck? What are you?
This dude has 14,500 views in a year on all his videos combined.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's not reaching anybody.
He just really loves Travis.
And 6.3 thousand of those are one on how to ID hets, guaranteed. I'm not watching it because I'm not giving him any clicks.
He definitely loves to hear himself talk, and he definitely loves to include Travis in, because I had to watch him when, I was told about him, when he was doing his Nido stuff. And the constant references to Travis, it was like there must have been an issue there. Like Travis must have beat him up like 20 years ago. And he's just getting back at Travis. So, I definitely did not like that part too. So
yeah, I'm gonna go with the doctor when it comes to stuff like that.
Yes.
It's just probably the safest bet. But the one thing with these Facebook groups I find is I think the better Facebook groups are the less owned species groups. So like the Sambo groups tend to be pretty good. They all tend to be very positive. There's pretty good people in them. The Rainbow Boa groups, kind of the same way. But when you get to the ball python groups, it's a completely different clusterfuck.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy very many ball python groups, but I am in a Doom Rolls boa and another boa group that I haven't had any problems with. People haven't really been ugly. There's been one or two minor things, but not in the Doom Rolls ones at all.
Not in the Doom Rolls. Some of the bigger boa groups can be a pain in the ass because it's a more well-known and more kept species. So you get the retards who, I'm using Chris's words since I took it out of the question.
Of course you are. Yeah.
I just helping you out there. That they own one boa or one ball python, and now they're the expert. And so they have to give whatever information they read from the one care sheet or the one YouTube video they saw, and that's what they're going to regurgitate forever.
I noticed too, to Rachel's point, or to your point too, like the monitor groups aren't nearly as bad. The turtle groups aren't nearly as bad.
Like Darren wants to the blood python groups. That blood python group, just those breeders in general are very close.
Yeah. So, it's a little bit in the green tree groups that I've seen. But I mean, other than that, just shut the fuck up. I mean, these people, the same people that are now espousing that keeping a snake in a rack is horrible are the same people that were yelling at Donato 2 years ago for keeping his 25-year-old ball python in a tank for 25 fucking years.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So
you're going to kill it. Well, I haven't killed it yet.
25 fucking years. He's kept this thing alive. So, fuck these people. But there are the dickheads that'll go out in the snow and put a ball python around a snowman. And, all of a sudden that's okay. You dickheads. And another thing, can we please stop these big muscle guys fucking looking tough in the camera with a fucking tiny little ball python wrapped around their fucking neck? It's just the fucking worst, man. Bottom 80%, worst.
Like I said, there are good things. There's definitely good information that does get spread, but the problem is in these larger groups, you really have to dig through all the shit to find the little bit of good information. And if you're a new keeper, you don't know who to believe in those groups because the loudest voices tend to not be the quote unquote experts or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. The loudest voices tend to be the dumbasses who just need to be able to be heard. And
well, when I grew up, being called an expert on something, you had to have 10,000 hours in that in that subject.
Yeah.
And these motherfuckers have ball pythons for a week and a half, and they're adminning fucking Facebook group pages.
Yep.
So, I mean, come on.
But I think that's the thing. A lot of people, that's where we are though with Facebook as a culture. Facebook is so ingrained now in our culture that people forget that it's not a necessity. It's not a encyclopedia. It is a social network that people can get on and say whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
But people go there. People go to Facebook or Google for all the information immediately. If they get a question, they'll go search those places. And I watched a thing the other day on Google. I mean, your likelihood to find non-Google sponsored stuff in a search is very hard because that stuff is like the first 50% of a page is all Google sponsored stuff. So it's whatever they want you to see. And it's kind of how Facebook is. But
I hate Facebook.
Yeah. But it's a necessary evil for what we do.
It is, but I sure do.
But I also make a lot of friends on Facebook too. So it's
how I met you.
Yeah.
How I met Chris.
It's not. Well, and I think that Victor's right. The Dumpy Frog groups are pretty fucking solid. So I think I'll be okay.
Yes, it's those smaller. Another one that's a pain in the ass is sulcata tortoise groups.
I can imagine because it's an entry level animal that people buy.
Yeah, it's well, talking about the dumbasses taking their ball python out in the snow. Every winter, there's a fucking video of someone letting their tortoise roam around in the snow. He loves to roam around in the snow. Fucker. His body temperature just dropped drastically. You need to get him out of the snow.
Yep.
Yeah. It is not snow in the savannas of Africa.
That thing is not having a good time looking all half dead in fucking 3 inches of snow outside on your front porch.
You'll see it like walking around in the snow. Like he's not walking around to enjoy the snow. He's trying to find where the fucking heat is at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but you can't tell them that.
No, because
when you do, you're
a jerk.
Yes.
Don't be the jerk, apparently. But I don't know. It's like I said, it's a necessary evil in certain situations. It's a great way to sometimes go and research a breeder, even though the FBI groups, again, are a pain in the butt. I mean, you had an issue this week with someone going on your Facebook page and bashing you just because they got upset with you.
Yeah, some guy that was trying to say that cottonmouths will chase you and that rattlesnakes are breeding with rat snakes. And I'm like, we had a little back and forth. And then he had got like 20 people to go on my business page and leave negative reviews. So I had to turn off reviews today, and I'm contesting it with Facebook, and I had to send them the evidence that none of these people have ever purchased from me. And so we'll see if they remove all the reviews.
No, it's all right. I'll make up 20 emails and then give you 20 positive reviews and offset his bullshit. Fuck that guy.
So that was like last week. I talked about a friend that sold a snake. Person got the snake, and that day they wanted to return it because the ball python wasn't as big as they thought it should be.
Yeah.
And so the breeder said, "Fine, you know what? I'll take it back. Here's your money." A week later, like right after we got off the podcast, he sent me a screenshot. They put a bad review on Morph Market. I'm like, you got everything you fucking wanted.
So that same breeder was sending me yesterday that he had a snake on. Find it again. He had a snake on Morph Market for $3,500, and somebody offered them $2,000 shipped. And he's like, "No, I'm not knocking 45% off."
Yeah, I saw that.
And they were like, "Well, that's not 45%. Have a good day."
He's like,
"You're right. It's 42.9%. I'm sorry, you can't fucking round." He's like, "I'm selling all my ball pythons."
Yeah, he hates ball python deal.
He's like, "I'm so fucked." He actually the message was RE colon giving up on humanity because ball python people suck.
Yep, he's right. He's right. They're the worst people in the fucking world.
I've had 2 customers in the last 2 days that just pissed me off. So one you were there for during the show, had a guy come up, look at my ball pythons, look at my rainbow boas, and he goes, "These things are expensive." And I was like, "Look," and I had them priced at $450, and they're almost a year old.
Yeah.
I said, "Look, I'll do $400."
They are a year old.
Yeah. And he goes, "We do $350?" I said, "Sure, $350."
He said $350 and you got a deal.
Yeah.
And you said, "I'll do it," and like went to shake his hand, and he looked at his wife and yeah.
And then he goes, "Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna do it." Motherfucker, don't come to me if I take $100 off and then tell me you're not gonna fucking do it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem now is that people are thinking that $450 is expensive.
Yes.
Where it's not. It's fucking not, man. It's really, it's a paycheck snake, you know, and you're not going to sell your shit for $200.
Right.
You know what? So fuck that guy too.
Not a CBB rainbow boa that is.
It was like the other guy came over by and looked at it, and he's like, "Well, they've got an adult over there for $300." I was like, "Yeah, it's an import." And then JT comes to me and says that guy had come to his table because, yeah, he didn't want that adult because it was bitey. I'm like, yeah. It's an import. Like, but he was upset with the price. I'm like, that's why you pay more.
Well, I've never had a show in, I don't know, I've probably done 100 shows.
I don't know.
Now,
like this.
I've never had a show where I had so many people come up and ask me for a discount on a rack. I mean, it was like every third person, what's the best you can do on this? I'm like, oh, what's the sale on there? $250? I can do $250.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, look, if you're buying 3 of them and it's going to be, $1,500, we could talk about it. But when you're buying $150 single tub, that's you. Let me give you all my profit.
I still can't get over this weekend. So you sold a single tub rack to a person. They came into the show, they saw it in person, they touched it, they felt it, they looked at it, they bought it, they took it home. Immediately when they got home, they messaged you and said, "This isn't going to work. I need to return it."
Yeah, this isn't going to work.
How's it not going to work? You saw it. It wasn't something magical. You know what it was when you took it home.
Right. And I said, nope, all sales are final. And then she showed up. She's like, hey. And because I guess her husband's the one who texted me. And I'm like, she's like, are all sales final? And I just pointed at the sign on the table. And she was like, okay. I said, look, join the Houston Reptiles group. Post it in there. There's like 10,000 members. I guarantee you'll sell it in an hour. Probably for what you paid for it. Put 150 okay, that'll work. And she left. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not giving you your fucking money back because you have buyer's remorse.
Expect that price with shipping and have Robert throw in a rack.
Yeah. That's pretty much.
It's basically, I had a guy message me last night about my rainbows, and he goes, he asked how much they were. I told him. And then I said, yes, they were babies. I said, no, they're about a year old, but they're a little smaller because I don't fast grow anything.
Right.
He goes, oh, so they're not good eaters. No, they're great eaters. I just don't power feed them. They're fine. How many you have? It's like, I got 2 males and a female. You want trades? No, motherfucker, don't. If you're going to try and trade me shit, start with that. Start with that at the beginning of the conversation so I know that we don't have to talk.
Right. Let's just start with, I love that Morph Market now has the option to, this person has declined to respond to this. When you sense it's just something stupid, you could click on there. Nope, not responding to that. And we're not continuing this conversation. So I just had something pop up that blows my fucking mind. Apparently Lizzo, the singer, has the word spaz in her new song and is removing that word.
That's a derogatory term
because it's ableist. Apparently it like means people with some disease. They were called spazzes in the 1800s, so they got offended.
And those ghosts came back and told people they were offended.
Yeah, apparently.
We just did a podcast. I'm putting it out tonight with Robert Stefani. Not Robert, Michael Stefani.
Mike Stefani.
Yeah, and we go all into the trans people, the trigger people, the gay people, the black people, the white people. And he brought up an interesting point. He was like, when we grew up, and you guys are roughly my age. I mean, about.
I'm 42. You're a little older than me. But
I'm 48. Much. Yeah.
Right.
So nobody wanted to be the victim when we were growing up. Like, we didn't want to be, the guy that, started crying and needed a safe space whenever somebody said something. And that's the way the whole hobby is going now. So I definitely don't see myself lasting long.
Well, that's what social media, the problem is everyone has a voice.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You're allowed to have a voice, but what you say is not always important. Like, say whatever you want, but don't be upset when someone disagrees with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole thing. People are like, well, I have the right to say what I want. Yes. And I also have the right to retort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and the thing is that how many people really respond? Like, fucking, I'm scrolling down and listening to these douchebags talk about how, the earth is flat and shit. And I don't look at it and be like, I'm so mad that hey, what's this? What's going on right here? That people are talking to each other while the guest is talking. What's up with that?
To you. I can multitask.
She had snot and she was trying to take care of her snot issues.
It doesn't matter. All three of you are so far away that you cannot see snot in your nose.
I don't actually have.
Why don't you guys get individual cameras?
The one camera I'm using, Chris, came from you.
Right, I know that.
The rest of them would cost money. I'm working on it, but I'm a teacher.
You're a hotshot teacher now. Fucking,
yeah.
You know, I mean, you teach fucking second graders to make paper mache volcanoes. All right,
fucking do
pretty much, but
you could afford 2 more cameras.
Not when gas is $4.50 a gallon.
Dude, it's fucking $7.65 here.
That's your fault for living up there. Fuck that.
I paid it was $96 to fill my truck up yesterday.
Oh,
2 years ago it was $35.
I got a fucking Kia. It cost me $80 to fill it up.
Yeah.
I
So
was supposed to say, I currently have my mom's Traverse, and it costs $75.
It's 25 miles each way to the shop from the house. So that's about 5 days. I mean, I have to fill up. Usually I fill up on Monday and then Friday. Then if we go to a show, I have to fill up on the way to the show and on the way back, and then again on Monday morning. And it's I've been having this conversation a lot lately. It's I don't want to say the end is near, but it is going to be hard for us to survive this economy.
I would imagine that you guys have stopped going to shows that are 8 hours away, 6 hours away.
Yeah, I stopped that a while back, but yes. Even like Longview's 4 hours. If I didn't have a big pre-order for that show, I probably wouldn't go because the fuel is just going to kill me. And last time in Longview, I did horribly. But it was also the first show of the year, which is usually not great. And so we'll see. We're going to give it a shot.
Fingers crossed.
Like Slidell's probably the farthest you go now, but that's a big show for you. So it makes it worth it. Yeah.
I'm not even sure if I'm going to do New Orleans anymore because the shows are always really close to each other. And that's such a long drive, 6 hours each way. We don't get home till 1 or 2 a.m. on Sunday night. And, I've been taking Mondays. So for 2 years, I worked every day. We would do, hey, there's Malia. We'll be seeing Malia this weekend. Hey, I worked every day and then every weekend and then every day and then every weekend. And back in February, I was ready to, I know this sounds terrible. I was ready to fucking put a pistol in my mouth and just be done with it all. And I realized
it wasn't actually that bad.
It wasn't actually that bad, but it was pretty fucking bad. I realized I have to take a day off here and there. So I've been taking Mondays off after the shows, and it's worked out really well. But I don't know. It's with fuel price the way they are. Everything's gone up. Our main product PVC has tripled in price in a year. I just ordered screws today, and they went up another $10 a box.
Again?
Yeah, they're like $79 now instead of $69, and they were $49 before. Mm-hmm. Heat tape is going up steadily. Anything that's a fuel, an oil resin or an oil byproduct, which every fucking thing we touch is.
So I do Lego. Lego is going up because it's plastic and it's made from oil. And so Lego is going up like 28%, or no, it's more than that. It was like 30-something%.
Yeah.
I noticed that the other day when Logan was looking at some Lego sets online, and I was like, ooh, yeah, you're going to have to hold on there.
Well, and then like Rachel's truck, it's 2.5 years old, and it's getting a new engine put in it. And
because there's a problem
with Ford,
with that particular Ford.
But that's $3,000 we got to put in that. That's our cut of it is $3,000.
Yeah, luckily Ford's covering all the rest.
It's like I don't know, man. It's
time to start an OnlyFans.
So that's why
hey, I'll video the shit out of that.
But so that's why when people complain when they do these shows now and they complain because they didn't make any money, I'm like, it's not always the show promoter's fault when a show doesn't do well. You've got to take in everything into account.
Sean has been advertising for Conroe since the last Conroe.
Yeah.
I mean, he did everything he can to get people in the door. It's just, Saturday and Sunday, it was 100+ degrees. It was, $5 a gallon gas almost. Mm-hmm. And it's the beginning of summer. This show's always slow. The June Conroe is always the slowest of the three.
It is.
Because everybody's on, going on vacation and whatnot. This one was just exceptional. I think Sean said about half the amount of people Sunday.
On Sunday, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was 100. I mean, I'm sure you saw my post on Facebook, Chris, that when I went to get in the truck to load up, it said 118 degrees.
Yeah, that's insane. That's Tunisia hot. Dude, it shouldn't be that hot here.
About 3 o'clock, I went out to the trailer to get a pre-order out for a customer. And when I opened the door, you know, have you ever opened a convection oven before?
Yeah.
That blast that hits you.
Mm-hmm.
It like takes your breath away.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, now I got to climb in this fucking thing and get this rat out.
It's like walking out of the airport at the Daytona show.
Yeah.
And you just get smacked in the face. It's like being kicked in the balls with 120-degree heat. And you just want to turn around and fly right back home. You know, so it's you know, I definitely see, like, you are going to get heat stroke if you keep doing shit like this. Okay. Yeah. Because you're not the healthiest dude in the world. And I think that if I was walking around in your truck, I would get heat stroke. Okay. I've already had regular stroke. So I know heat stroke is right around the corner if I give it a chance. So, you gotta just be careful. But also you notice that these vendors are fucking on their cell phone, digging around. Now, you know, of course you're not. If you're not going to actively sell, like I think Brian Carter said something like sitting, you know, in the back of the table on your cell phone isn't selling. That's attending. And if you're not going there to sell, you're just wasting your time. So,
especially if you're someone who has the same thing that 20 other vendors have.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you have ball pythons on your table and your name's not Justin or Ozzy or Bob Vu, you're going to have to sell stuff. People aren't coming to you for it.
Right.
That is correct.
So you're going to have to sell a little harder.
And look, I had this conversation with several vendors this weekend. You know, the hobby I've only been in the hobby a few years, but every business does this. You go through ebbs and you know, troughs, like waves. Right now, we have a shitload of new vendors who spent their COVID money, you know, a year and a half, 2 years ago on snakes, and now they're producing babies. So they're doing shows, but they're not making any money because the economy, they're not going to last.
Yeah, they're going to be gone soon anyway.
Right. They'll be gone soon. And then the people who stick around will buy their collections.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it shows now, then we'll have less vendors, better quality. Not that the quality was bad.
But you do have a lot of vendors who are like, why isn't my pastel ball python selling?
Right.
Because no one's buying a pastel ball python.
Yeah.
That's why it's not so.
But the thing is that if they just switch up their advertising a little bit and sell that pastel python or pastel ball python as cobra food or king snake food, or, you know, taking space up in your freezer, you know, it would be, they'd make money at it. So
they really would.
You know, it's just like, you know, stop. I mean, we talked about this on another podcast, but how many ball pythons do you think are killed every year that are produced here just because they're worth no money? Because the value of an empty rack is worth way more than a pastel lesser possible head clown ball python.
Yeah, if you don't have the ability to wholesale it to somebody like that has connections with like the bigger pet chains, then yeah, it's going to sit in your rack. Because that's how I talked about. Go buy a ball python from PetSmart. If you go buy a normal ball python from PetSmart, you could breed it to a ton of shit and probably pop out some stuff because there's no such thing as a normal ball python anymore.
Right. Well, also, you know, just have connections at these fucking dog shit Repticons. You know, the dog shit Repticons are full of fucking morons that'll buy, you know, that $30 ball python and kill it in 2 weeks. Like basically a new class of ball pythons should be disposable ball pythons, right? And it's like, you know, when you buy the turtle from PetSmart and you're like, that shit's just going to die in 12 days and they'll come back and buy another turtle. That's how the ball python thing has to go if these low end people want to survive. But, you know, fuck them. I love seeing these people that have spent money just fucking can't pay their rent anymore because they bought dumb ball pythons. I love seeing people lose their houses because they invested heavily into fucking ball pythons. Okay, so.
Well, you know, I remember when I first started listening to you, Chris, you would always say that people don't realize how long 3 years is.
Yeah.
And you're seeing
not the new people. Yeah.
Right. You're seeing that a lot now with people who bought, you know, they bought 10 or 15 snakes a year and a half ago. And now they're selling them because they realize, A, it's a lot of work.
Yep.
And B, they're not seeing a return on their investment because it takes 3 years to raise a female up. Well, now you got all these people that are breeding ball pythons at 2 years and 1,200 grams.
Nope.
Yeah. And we go, why did I only get 2 eggs?
Yep.
Then why did my snake die?
Yeah.
Well, and the problem is you've got those people that got into it They bought shit stuff in the beginning because, again, they thought they were going to buy one pastel and one pied and make millions.
Right.
Then they get out of it and someone goes, oh, I'm going to buy this collection. So they buy a shit collection that obviously wasn't going to make money in the first place. And now they're wondering why they can't make money. Like, because you bought a shit collection. You didn't try. So the problem is you either have to be a real business person and really invest in high-end stuff and run it that way, or you have to really like the animals and just be in it long term because you like the animals.
Well, the whole thing is if you go into it knowing it's a pyramid scheme, then you actually are ahead of most people. Correct. Because only the top people or the top 20% are going to do it the right way. The bottom 80% are going to continue to buy those 2006 jeans that they think are going to make the money, and they're going to end up losing everything. Like you see all these fucking hobo handouts that they're doing on Instagram where they have to, like guys like, I'm losing my house because I lost my job and nobody wants to buy my collection. Well, you dickhead, if fucking you had more than, pastel yellow bellies in it, maybe somebody would. So fuck them. It's kind of like that only the strong, so like the Darwin shit. It's just fun to watch them. Just watch them walk off that fucking cliff and be like, you're going to be homeless next year. And usually you could tell the people that are going to be homeless in like a year. And you're like, that guy's not going to be doing this, in a year and a half.
Because those folks will watch Justin post a new snake and they'll find out what genes are in it. And they go buy single gene animals that have those. I'm going to breed these together and I'm going to be just like him. Dude, you're already like 20 years behind him at that point.
Right. Yeah. Right.
No one wants your shit.
Yeah.
Unless you can buy the thing he just made and then breed it in 3 years and maybe have a chance. I was like, this is not a get rich quick thing. And so, and so when I've been shows, it's completely hobby for me. And I know a lot of my friends, including Robert, this is a job for them. So it's completely different how I approach a show. Like, I sold a snake to Blake Wilson this weekend at the price I did because I just needed to pay my table. Once I paid the table, the rest of the weekend was gravy.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, it's totally different for everybody. Like I still think the top 20%, and I'm talking people like, Jack and Heidi and Brizzy and all that. They know how to make a living, or not necessarily make a living out of it because they do other things, but they know how to play the game, whereas, Jimmy in his mom's house in Alabama, does not know how to play the game. And, but he keeps the industry rolling, right? So, you need those people.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I sell a lot of racks to those people.
Yeah, exactly.
And I sell the dream, because look, I want to see people succeed in the end, but man, there's some people that when they come up, I'm like,
you just know.
I think the reality of it is
$1,000 from you.
Any two kids with some money could put Justin and Miguel and all those guys out of business if they do it the right way. And it's just like, when PCs were first coming into the market and, like the Bill Gates would be like, a kid in his garage could put me out of business tomorrow. It's still like that. But the thing is that there's like selling the dream. Ralph Davis was brilliant, even though he's kind of like a cunt. He fucking was brilliant.
His chicks in bikinis and thongs.
He sold you the dream. When people look at Justin and Miguel and they see the fucking cars and the fucking houses, they're selling the dream. So they're doing what they have to do. But the people that are buying from Justin and Miguel and those guys are the top 20%. Again, fucking Jimmy Bob in fucking, Arkansas is not fucking trying to buy something from Justin because the Justin price tag is so unattainable, from what that guy grew up thinking that was, something worth spending money on. So I don't know. I mean, really, fuck these ball python people. I'm just so irritating.
The problem is all these people want to do well, but they don't have the drive to do well. So like I'll see people come to Robert and buy a ton of racks and then turn around 2 months later and they bought more because now they have 10 more snakes. But I'm like, they don't have it together enough that in 3 years they can actually put together a plan to make money off of this.
Right.
So they bought a bunch of shit, but they don't have a vision.
But I've got a couple of customers that bought their first racks from me, around a year ago. But they came and we sat down and talked about what their plan was, that they had money, money to put in, disposable money that they knew it was like investing in the stock market. I might lose all this.
Right.
And I'm thinking of two right now. One of them is now vending just about every show and doing great. The other one's probably still a year away from that. Just the one bought a really good collection from someone, like acid and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Crazy shit.
But they're definitely not the norm.
Yeah.
Then I get the ones that want to buy a rack so they can copy it. And I've had a couple of those recently, and I'm like, good luck. May the best man win. I don't give a shit. You just gave me money. Okay.
Copy the design of the rack, you mean?
Yeah, they want to copy the design or copy, a cage. And I'm like, it's the same as every other fucking one on the market.
I'll tell you what. Here are all my plans. Good luck buying PVC for the next 2.5
rectangles that are screwed together.
That was like the cages we saw posted in that group this weekend. It was 2 cages, and they're talking about how you can make these great cages for people, and they were made out of OSB.
Literally the worst possible wood you could put a reptile in.
It's just glued together pieces of
that
plywood.
Shit off gases so much.
It's
as soon as you get heat in there, it's going to fucking kill the animal probably.
There's a reason. So when someone does shit cheap, every now and then, no one thought about it, and that was a great idea. But in general, when people do shit cheap, like, I can do this cheaper. There's a reason no one does it cheaper. There's a reason no one builds a shitty cage like that, because we all realize that's a shitty cage.
We used to have all of the big melamine racks, and you'd have to get new ones every 3 years
because they get wet.
And then we were like fucking so excited when Vision came out with their plastic things, and fucking for the next 3 years you're watching your fucking Vision cages droop in the middle. So it's come a long way, from what we had, but still it's obviously PVC is the way to go right now, but I can't see somebody starting up a PVC rack business right now, just being that, like Robert said, fucking screws are $80. Fucking PVC is probably 4 times what it cost last year, so.
You can find it.
I love when folks post pictures of their racks. It's like 5 tubs wide, and you're like, that person's going to need a new rack in a month. They don't take into account that weight.
And I try to tell them, look, there's a reason you don't see that on any professional rack builder's website, because it doesn't fucking work.
Yeah, they'll build this giant rack that's 5 tubs wide and it holds like 50 tubs. I'm like, look at this. I'm like, you're really proud of that, aren't you?
Yeah, it's gonna fall apart. It's gonna not work for you. In a couple of months, you're not gonna be able to get the tubs out in the middle going down below, and the top one's gonna have a gap so big you couldn't keep an adult ball pipe, a boa in that motherfucker. It would get out.
We had a guy when we were shutting down Eyeballs. He came in and he wanted to buy. He bought 2 racks and he bought like $5,000 in snakes, right? So he bought like 15 snakes. And I'm like, all right, so remember, you just hook a thermostat up to this rack and take these snakes and, they'll be fine. And he's like, dude, I'm a professional. All right. I know how to do this. Right. So I'm like, all right, take these fucking racks and get out of my fucking shop, you dummy. And I get a call the next day that he killed all the snakes because he didn't put a thermostat on the racks. He just plugged it right in. Right.
Dumbass.
And he's like, could I have some money back? And I'm like, no. That's right. You fucking idiot.
I get customers all the time when they ask me, does it come with the tubs and the heat? Yes. All you need is a thermostat. A what? And I have to explain to them
that it's not a thermometer.
It's a thermostat. Well, how much is that? They started around $100. Oh my God. And I'm like, well, can I just get this one off Amazon? You can, but in 3 months, when you're calling me because you melted a hole in one of your tubs, I'm not replacing shit.
Yep. Yeah. When you set your house on fire in 3 months,
that's my first
I'm
question.
Not responsible.
When I get a message from someone about a heat tape failure, my first question is, hey, can you send me a picture of your setup? Because I don't want to ask them what thermostat they use, because they'll lie.
Right.
And I say, yeah, you see that jumpstart thermostat? That's your problem right there. Not to say I haven't used them as well.
No, but that's the same person who's going to spend $650 on a rack from you, right? Then they're going to go out and buy $3,000, $6,000 animals, put it in there, and then put a $24 thermostat on it, and wonder why shit failed. I'm like, come on, you've got to put some thought into it. I get it. People hate racks. They talk about how we should be more like the saltwater community, and we should do bigger and all this. Just do better. Just do better stuff. So like the thermostat, that's where you should not skimp on price. That's an important piece of equipment.
Some company out there could figure out how to make thermostats and actually have them in stock.
That is a problem.
That can make a fucking
that's
fortune.
the goal right there.
But
I mean, I'm trying to get Herpstat probes now, and it's like, 5-week turnaround. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
And I know they're working their asses off trying to stay on top of it, but because I tried to become do a wholesale account with Herpstat when I first started, and he told me, he's like, this was when the pandemic first started, and he said, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to fill the orders that I have,
right,
for the wholesalers that I have, because all of my parts come from China,
right.
So I'm always, I have 5 or 6 websites that I look at for thermostats when a customer needs one, and
see,
right now it's
all electronic stuff. So I want to get Joe and my daughter and I want to get an Xbox. I haven't bought an Xbox since Xbox 360. So that was before Joe was born.
Yeah.
And she's 11 now. But I remember the days of, if you wanted an Xbox or a PlayStation, you walked into Walmart and you bought it. Yep. It was right there.
Yep.
Now, if you want one, you have to get on a waiting list for months, and you better hope you can find it when it comes out. I'm like, this is crazy. Like,
and it's still, I think, what is the PS5 out now?
Yeah.
That's the big one. They still don't have it at like GameStop or Walmart it's been out 2 years now. Yeah.
And
Xbox fucking sucks though. Fucking really is. PlayStation is better.
I
bought an Xbox last year. I literally returned it like a week later after I finished.
Our kid likes his Xbox.
I like Halo.
Well, that's the whole thing, is that Xbox is more for like children, right? And PlayStation is more for like adults.
Yep.
So
I'm a child. I'm okay with that.
Yes, you are.
But it's getting that way with everything though, and that's something that we're gonna. I hope it turns around, because it's getting that way with fucking chicken eggs. Go try and buy chicken nuggets at a grocery store. Like
they're saying that chicken eggs are going to be about $1 an egg by the fall this year.
Jesus.
Because the 2 biggest chicken farms in the fuck country have burned down in the last couple months.
Right, they burnt down. Yeah.
So millions of chickens dead. Yeah,
hey, I guess we're gonna buy some chickens and put them on my parents' property.
I guess,
and get our own eggs.
Yeah, but
it's the person we get eggs from. They're moving back to the city, so they won't have chickens anymore.
Chickens are so gross anyway. They're just like rats. I mean,
they're little dinosaurs, man.
Collecting eggs with shit on it, and that's nasty.
We call it the bloom, Chris. It's not shit. It's called the bloom.
No,
you don't wash it.
Chris, you're also one that won't eat an apple out of an apple tree. So
Yeah, I'm not a horse, okay? I'm not going to eat a whole apple, okay?
I'm not.
I'll eat apples sliced up either. Like I'll eat sliced up apples, but they got to be that way when I buy them.
You talking about the Xbox being for a kid?
Really, Chris?
That's how I prepare
stuff.
On this road again. Every time we talk to Chris, we go down the what Chris won't eat road. Everybody knows.
I'm just saying. All right.
So we've talked about a lot of negative stuff. I'm gonna challenge you, Chris. Give me one positive thing going on in the hobby right now.
Oh, the better people are the best part of the hobby. Well, you just have to differentiate between the fucking mongoloids and the regular people, right? It's just like, as long as you do that, you're fine. But fucking avoid states like Arkansas, Alabama, even though I know fucking our friend James just moved there. Like the meth states, like New Mexico and fucking, certain parts of Arizona. Just avoid those, and you'll be fine. You got great people around, and the Northeast. Don't fucking be friends with Northeast breeders. They're the shadiest motherfuckers. That they are exactly what you think they look like. They look like that, okay? And what you think they act like that. So avoid Northeast. Yeah. 20%. If anybody wants, I'll email them a list. Okay, because I got it all. I got it in Excel.
It's figured out everyone you can trust and talk to.
Yeah, you guys are on it. You fucking picked me up from the airport when I first went there. Robert's gonna fucking take me in the helicopter to shoot pigs like I'm in Vietnam, fucking shooting Charlie. So fucking you guys are in that top 20. You're all good.
Well, thanks, Chris.
And I got your back, brother. Don't worry.
I'm sure glad you weren't here this weekend, though, because you would have been fucking miserable.
You would have been.
Dude, and if I had to wear that hat, that 3-pound hat in 118 degrees, it would, yeah.
I mean, I messaged you Friday because I'm like, be glad you're not here because it is 10 degrees hotter than it was last June when you were here and you were miserable. We hit 100 a month earlier than we have in like 20 years.
Yeah, it's so gross. The funny part is it was 100 degrees at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And everybody was fucking dancing and walking around like you weren't in the fucking fifth circle of hell.
I was in the truck
like,
with the air conditioner on with the dog.
That whole weekend, everybody was sticky. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah,
and it wasn't good kind of sticky. Okay.
Right.
It was nasty ass, get away from me sticky.
That's all summer here.
That's the one thing that I'm nervous about moving to Texas. But I don't leave my house anyway, so I'm in the air conditioner all day. So as long as your power grid fucking keeps up, I'm all right.
Problem.
Stay on one close to a fire station or a hospital.
Yeah,
just buy you a generator.
So the catchy's on sale right now for 30% off.
Oh, we need another one.
Ooh, I need to get one. That's a free plug for anybody. You should go order a catchy off of, if you own animals in your house.
You have to go to Amazon coupons on their.
Just so you guys know, Luke from Lizard Morphs in Australia is one of the top 20% also.
Oh, cool.
Okay, cool.
Because he just reminded me to say his name, even though he fucked me and he's going on MJ's in fucking 2 days. But it's all right, Luke. All right, he's still fun to talk to. It's like talking to fucking Crocodile Dundee. So it's fucking interesting guy to talk to.
So lizard morphs, I would assume he breeds lizards.
Skinks and bearded dragons, yeah.
Man, some of the skinks, the blue tongue skinks I've seen produced over there, like the tide and shit. That's crazy.
They have fucking morphs like we have ball python morphs in the
we'll
skinks.
Never see here unless
that's not true. There's a magical portal to Germany.
Yeah.
And somehow those animals make it into a magical portal to Germany. And then they make it here.
Yeah, but if you go to Germany, you gotta like kill a Jewish guy now, I heard, and fucking shit like that. So I try to avoid Germany and places like that. Oh no, he's anti-Semitic. He made a Jew joke on Gumbo. All right, everybody just calm down. It's a fucking joke.
You're so much trouble.
What a jerk.
I didn't mean
who doesn't get offended by Jew jokes? Jews.
What's that?
You know who doesn't get offended by Jew jokes? Jews.
Jews, yeah. Jews. Well, it's all right. My father is a black Jew. He's like fucking Lenny Kravitz.
Like Lenny Kravitz.
Okay? So I'm covered all over the place.
Right.
I can make my Jew jokes.
One of my best friends is, and we talked about that one time. I was like, does that ever offend you? He's like, dude, we don't get offended. He's like, we've been dealing with it for thousands of years. It's people get mad for us, and we think it's fucking funny.
Exactly. You know who gets mad for them? Under 30 white women. You know who else doesn't get mad is the fucking Italians, right? No. I could call up Donato and be like, hey, you fucking guinea, what's going on? And he'd be like, hey, that's funny. So,
exactly.
Well, because I was watching the new Ricky Gervais special on Netflix, which is pretty good. But like he'll make all these jokes, but they're jokes. Like you gotta understand they're jokes. There's a difference between making the joke and actually meaning it.
Dude, I worked in a comedy club in the late 90s. If some of the shit that they said back then, if they said now, I couldn't imagine. And we laughed our fucking asses off.
They wouldn't make it anymore.
I remember seeing Dave Chappelle when he was still like, bobblehead Dave Chappelle, because he was skinny and had a big head. And the shit he used to say, and they're mad about the stuff he's saying now. And I'm like you should have heard him in 1999.
well, like, can you imagine if like Kinnison was coming up now?
Oh my God, no, I couldn't do it.
I wish. Yeah. Or Rodney Dangerfield. I mean, even if he was still around, the stuff that Rodney would say. One of my favorite things to watch on YouTube are old clips from Dangerfield's. Yeah. The comedy club that he had. I grew up watching that stuff. And every once in a while when I want to laugh, I'll go look up Dangerfields. And it was just one. It was like Louis Anderson and Sam Kinison and of course Rodney and all those core guys. Bob Saget when he was brand new.
Right.
And I just named off like a bunch of dead
guys. Those are a bunch of dead guys.
Like every one of them. Shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, comedy's supposed to be an escape so that you can go and you can laugh.
Yeah.
And not get offended. Anyway, we just went.
Well, no, like I said, that whole Andrew Dice Clay would not do well right now. You're right. That is.
Well, that's why Eddie Murphy doesn't do stand up, because I mean, the shit he said in Raw and in Delirious, now he would get canceled for.
Yeah. Well, like even Bill Burr said he was doing a club in New York and he would say something like make a black joke or whatever. And the crowd now is just like, Oh.
Yeah. Should I laugh?
And he's like, New York was always the place where, like, the dangerous place, where fucking people would laugh at these fucking jokes. And yeah, it's just fucking brutal. I mean, anybody under 30 fucking could go kill themselves. They're the worst people in the world, okay? Because they don't know shit, but they think they know everything.
Yep.
So, and the white women are the worst under 30. So,
on my Facebook, somebody posted a meme or a picture. It was a sign from a retail store that said there will be no vacations given from November 20th to January, whatever. And then
I saw that.
The meme underneath it was bad, like how this is horrible and you can't tell people. Bitch, if you work retail, that's how it works.
It's like, always been like that.
Don't get upset. I mean, you take your vacations outside of the busiest parts of the year, but that's the problem where our society is. Our society is that I should be allowed to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And if you disagree with that, you're a horrible person.
Yeah.
Instead of just do shit the way it's supposed to be done.
Well, they took it like, like they said everybody should have a voice, right? And like Facebook let everybody have a voice. But now that voice has to matter too.
Yes.
But like, and that's the part where it's going to fall all apart. So it's interesting to watch, these fucking young people who are just bitching about a 40-hour work week. You're just like, shut the fuck up. But like I love that meme that's like, it has that fucking 25-year-old Trump hater and she's crying and she's like, we're going to start a revolution. And then the old-time army vet comes on and goes, you guys don't even know what bathroom to use. All right? Are you fucking kidding me? You're going to start a revolution. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Again, as a teacher, I see it. There's a level of laziness. And people will always tell you, well, teenagers have always been lazy. To an extent. But there's a level now of they're so lazy because they expect things just to happen.
Yeah.
I always make fun of my kids and compare them to for anybody out there that's ever seen South Park and seen the Underpants Gnomes.
Mm-hmm.
The Underpants Gnomes have a 3-part plan. It's steal underpants. Step 2,
nothing.
Step
Profit.
3, make money.
Yeah.
And that's
right.
that's how everybody is. And that's how the fuckers are with the ball pythons. Buy ball pythons. No plan after that. Make money.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's not how that works. That's not how, again, I always bring up Kabilka just because he's the top, but there's someone who did this the right way. But he did not just go, let me buy some random ball pythons and I'm going to make tons of money.
Yeah.
He plans shit out.
This is what happens. This is the aftermath 20 years later of everybody gets a trophy.
Yes.
And that's the problem because everybody doesn't get a trophy. I love fucking seeing young kids like life just beating them down. And I fucking enjoy that so much. It's so much fun to just watch. And it's so much fun to watch what causes like a 19-year-old male to cry now. And you're like, wow, really? Like you're crying at this? Like,
I still can't believe guys carry purses and fanny packs around like all the time now. I'm like, stop that. Get a wallet. Fucking get a wallet. Yep. You look ridiculous.
Get a fucking wallet. That's right.
Wallet, please.
Right.
John Grant says, I remember my first part-time 40-hour job.
Isn't that right?
And John Grant's a millennial.
Yeah.
I mean,
not mentally.
He's a
not
rare
mental.
breed. He's
an 80-year-old millennial.
80-year-old millennial. Right. Trapped in a 28-year-old's body. But yeah.
Again, but you see it with this hobby. People don't know how to deal with what?
Could you imagine Andrew Dice Clay coming out? Little Miss Muffet sat on the we fucking told that joke today.
Little boy Blue. Yeah. He needed the money. But people don't know how to deal with adversity now, right? When things get hard, people just break down. And I'm not downplaying mental illness. I'm not. It's out there.
Sure.
But the problem is, I think we've created a culture that's caused it to really be worse. As much as like we've got to fix mental illness, we've caused it to be worse because we haven't taught people how to overcome adversity.
Well, and I think social media really contributes to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah. I don't, and I'm going to catch flack for this, but I don't really believe in like depression or fucking, OCD. Like I because whatever I do, I just liken it to like imagining a caveman walking around and the caveman going, I really don't feel like going out and hunting a dinosaur today. I'm kind of sad. And that guy not immediately getting killed by all the other cavemen. Okay, so it's just and listen, kids that are allergic to peanuts, that's a problem. Okay, and I think that we should put them in the freezer right away once we find out that they're allergic to peanuts, because it's fucked up that your kid is allergic to peanuts. But if a peanut could kill your kid, maybe your kid's not meant for this world, right? Like fucking, especially if you're growing up poor and all you fucking eat in grade school is peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because your mother can't afford hot lunch. Okay. So I'm just saying that peanut allergy kids gotta fucking go. It's just, yeah, they're useless people.
But you see, the folks that can't deal with adversity are the ones that they buy a collection of snakes and then they get out of it in 2 years because one clutch didn't work out the way they wanted to, or they didn't get to it in time because it's just too hard. I'm like, there's no drive. There's a lot of want to, but there's no drive when it comes to stuff. I see it as a teacher.
At the end of the day, anybody could want, like fucking, it's like we all want shit. But you look at guys like Justin and they're like, fuck, he fucking got it. It may have taken him 10 or 15 years to get it, but he fucking got it. And nobody's working 15 years. If you're 19 now, you can't even see that trajectory, in the future, that because it's too much space of a time. So
I'm very interested to see down the line all of your 15 minutes of lame folks, how they are in 5 years.
Oh, well, I'm going to do a, what's the name? Well, where are they now?
Because there's some of them, the ones, you get on and they're like 22 years old and they just bought like $70,000 worth of ball pythons. I'm very interested to see how that works out when they're 27.
Well, how'd it work out for that fucking little cunt there whose father gave him $1 million? And less than a year later, he's like, there's too much drama in this hobby. I can't handle it.
Oh, Lord.
You just got the fuck out of it. So.
Hey, speaking of, Caleb told me he recorded with you.
Yeah, he's coming out tonight. I'm going to release it tonight.
Is it?
Oh, awesome.
It was it was definitely a 15 minutes.
Poor Caleb.
But basically what happened was on one of the Zoom calls, somebody was like, they were making fun of Caleb, and they said you should have Caleb on a 15 minutes, and they continued to make fun of him, and I was just like, you know what, fuck it, Caleb, I'll have you on a 15 minutes, right? And then I just totally forgot about it. And then a month later, some other dickhead on the Zoom call was like, didn't you promise Caleb a 15 minutes? And I was like, motherfucker, so I had to do it. And what's going to happen is I bet Caleb is going to win this year.
Probably so.
I'll vote for him.
I fucking love Caleb.
Because everybody will fucking vote for Caleb fucking as a joke towards me. And be like, we're voting for Caleb. And fucking then I'll have to talk to Caleb for an hour and a half.
That's like when I was in high school, a year after I graduated, like somebody nominated like the biggest, nerdiest kid for prom king. And everybody voted for him, even though most people didn't know who he was.
Yeah,
just because the way it was so different. And he won.
Yeah. That's the fucking way it goes.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I'm asking Caleb like questions like, are you competitive with other Texas people? And he's just like, no.
At least he knows it.
Yeah.
But see, that's like, so that's the kind of thing I do like in this hobby. We can sit there and make fun of Caleb all day long, but we all know that if someone came in and actually meant it when they were making fun of them, we'd kick their ass.
We'd kick their ass.
Yeah. That's how I am with a lot of my gay friends. Like fucking, like we'll call each other fag, but if somebody comes in and insults one of my fucking gay friends, I'll fucking throw down with that guy. Yep. I mean, of course, I'm, basically legless and useless now, so it's just a fucking empty threat, and the guy could probably kick my ass, but you still, it's like that whole nobody could make fun of my brother but me mentality.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's fine, because the people who get that are your friends forever, right? So the people that don't get it are going to be gone in a year anyway, like most of these ball python people.
Yep.
I just like that we keep shitting on the ball python people.
Well, I had 2 different vendors this weekend that I told me they were selling everything.
Really?
They were both new, in the last year.
They don't actually know what the hobby is like.
Yep. They've been to a couple shows, and it's just not a good time to be starting out.
Right. Right.
They started out when it was a really good time.
Yeah.
You know, when all the COVID money was out there. But, you know, I was saying it back whenever they were giving us the COVID money. I was like, we're going to pay for that in 2 years.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
So we're going to pay for it in 2 years. It's going to be, I said, it's going to be inflation, fuel prices. And now they're, you know, to combat inflation, they're raising interest rates, which is going to make home ownership more difficult, which is going to cause the housing market to tank again, which is going to
means I can buy another house.
Yeah, but your interest rates are going to be 7-8%.
So right, exactly. Yeah. And Rachel, just so you know, I'm shitting on ball python people, but not the hot chick ball python people.
But you know what? I don't only have ball pythons. I actually have about as many colubrids, if not more colubrids, than I have ball pythons.
That's true.
And I prefer to work with the colubrids.
All right, you're sounding like a woman now. Okay.
I can guarantee you that she
is. What gave it away?
Well, that's why. So those people getting out of the hobby, that's why I always say, if you're not planning on doing this as a business, if you're not planning on putting in $50,000 from the get go, like someone like Bob Vu who invested a bunch and did the way you should, if you're wanting to make a real business, then you need to buy animals you like. You need to buy animals that if you can't sell them, you're okay with keeping for the next 20 years.
Could I also just say it was great how uncomfortable James just looked when Rachel kind of fucking jerked the boobs up.
I can guarantee you I'm not uncomfortable around Rachel when she starts fondling her breast.
James, you made that sound really bad.
I'm not sure I'm going to let y'all go to concerts together anymore.
I was like, you're supposed to be my concert buddy. Come on.
People already thought that we were fucking each other.
I know, right?
Because you apparently can't be friends with a female unless you're having sex with them.
I know. That's the great part of it.
That's why Chris has no female friends.
That's right. And the ones I do have, you know, they're potentials. Okay. So
I'm not going to say any names. I just loved watching Chris play Mission Impossible one night in Conroe. Trying to not run.
Just so you know, okay, we had a thing going on the Zoom call where we were like, who would you fuck in this room? And go fuck yourself, James, because she picked me first. Okay. So fucking pick one and suck it. All right, you bastard.
I'm just saying,
right?
Watching you and Conroe try to go down a hallway or around a building so that somebody can't see you because you don't want to talk to them, fucking hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's, you know. You're talking about that one.
Yes.
All right.
Chris was like, I was thinking of another one.
No, then somebody else in the bill. I thought you were talking about at dinner.
No.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that was a rough one. I was James Bonding that shit up against the wall.
Yes, you did.
Watch it drop down from a window, look both ways.
Shit. It was very uncomfortable.
I do want to give a shout out to one of our friends, all of our friends, Corey Martin. Corey Martin is about to become a full-time breeder. I'm very happy for her.
She's made that official.
She did.
Facebook, yeah.
Because she made it official that she has 2 more Sundays.
Yeah, that's right. Because this Sunday was rough, apparently.
She is going to love it, and she's going to kill it because she is one that goes into it with the right mentality, and she'll have it planned out.
Yeah, but Corey did everything right 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, so... you know, obviously Corey is a little bit more intelligent than most people. So, you know, Corey could do anything and be successful at it. I mean, she was basically a public defender. Like that's the fucking make no money lawyer. Okay. Yeah. And she's successful at that. So it's just like when people talk about Justin, I'm like, Justin could have opened up a restaurant and been just as successful. There's certain people that you know, and Corey is one of them. You know,
it takes a mindset, and a lot of people don't have the mindset. So, but we talked to her this weekend. I'm excited for her.
Did you see what Limey said about your person who said they'd fuck you on the podcast?
Yeah, I know, but you know, Limey's a fucking degenerate, fucking drunk. That fucking the hot girls all hang around him, but they never fuck him. Okay, so it's all good.
All right,
and the pity fuck is very underrated. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still fuck. I mean, it's
right. Yeah. You're still getting laid.
Yeah. Fucking is like pizza, you know, like even when it's fucking bad, it's still pretty good. So fucking, you just take it every time.
I had relations with a chicken in college, and she only had relations with me because another girl told her I was good. I was like, I don't care. That's
wait. You had a relationship with a chicken in college?
I did.
It did sound like you said chicken.
With a chicken?
Chicken.
He is from Alabama.
That's why the eggs have shit on it. Okay.
It ain't shit. Anyways, let's do Chris's favorite part. This is where we talk about things that are on the Facebook page that nobody else can see, but we're just gonna talk about them anyways.
Oh yeah, okay.
They just have to go.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to the next segment of Who Gives a Shit with the Reptile Gumbo.
So, did you all see the video Max posted of the guy that jumped the fence to get a picture with the orangutan?
Yeah,
orangutan.
Yeah,
and then
they could have fucking.
I was waiting to see it because it grabbed his whole leg and pulled it up against the cage. I was waiting to see that leg just bend in half and get pulled through
because the orangutans are strong enough to do that.
They look. He got to say,
there was an orangutan out in Dickinson today. Somebody's like, "There's a monkey out," and they put a picture up, little baby orangutan. And some guy commented, "Oh, I got her. She got out." I'm like,
"What the fuck,
bro? I wouldn't be posting pictures of that thing. They're illegal in that county."
Yeah. I was gonna say I was there too.
Yeah,
especially because it's a baby right now. Wait till the thing.
It was over by Church Village in the hood.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
That's gonna be horrifying, full grown if it gets out. Anyways, Nathan posted a picture of a king snake eating a canebrake, which is cool. I just always love watching like king snakes being able to eat shit that would kill the rest of us.
Yeah.
This is happening. Largest carnivorous dinosaur in Europe unearthed, but it's like being the tallest midget. It's in Europe. Who cares? Yeah, make fun of Europe. This one's for you, Chris. The vaginas of female ducks contain multiple dead ends to help protect them against unwanted sex.
No, I'm well aware of that because I normally encounter those whenever I go down on a chick. So,
a lot of dead ends.
Yeah, all the dead ends. Yeah, just zero response. Yeah, kind of just like you know what it is. You know what's horrible is when you're going down on a. Robert probably knows this. You're going down on it, right, and then you get the tap, and then you're just like, oh. It's like the pitcher being thrown out of the game. It's like the coach coming over to the mound.
It was a good effort. Good effort. Nathan Holcomb posted a video. I'm always impressed by the videos of hippos chasing boats. I think people underestimate the speed of a hippo.
So think about this. Try to run through the water.
Yeah.
And then imagine you're a fucking 4,000 pound hippo. How much fucking strong they have to be to run through the water like that
and catch boats? Like,
because I try to run through the water and it's like slow motion.
And you're about the size of a hippo,
right? So. I mean, like probably.
Blatant fat joke on Robert. What the fuck? Fucking Robert, he's fucking body shaming you, man. Fucking just fucking kick that dude's ass. I don't want to see him on next week's Gumbo podcast.
Yeah, better cancel James. If we're going to cancel James for something, that's probably not it.
That's probably not it.
I think that's not the worst thing. Come on.
But I did see the hippo thing, and I agree with Robert. I'm like, that hippo was going fast. Well, and that boat guy was like, oh, it's no problem.
Yeah.
You know?
And then it was. And he was like, oh, shit.
Well, and you can Google, there's several videos of boats having to try to outrun a hippo. I'm like, just imagine the guy that went out there in a fucking dugout canoe that's fishing. He's not outrunning shit.
Nope.
He just didn't come home.
Fuck. Like, man, again, they're the number one killer of humans as far as animals outside of a mosquito.
Well, now there's a big population, not a big, but a population
South America
in Colombia from Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
When they busted him, they just let him go.
Well, I just watched a thing the other day on, I don't know, Discovery or Animal Planet about, it was called Escobar's Hippos.
Yeah.
And how they're like, the people there love them and they won't let them get rid of them. And they're thriving down there.
Fucking crazy. Did you see this is a fucked up human. Utah man indicted there's a C in there. It just makes it weird. For allegedly torturing guinea pigs online. Like for views.
Horrible.
He would get guinea pigs and then squeeze them to death for views.
What the fuck?
That's a serial killer in the right there.
Again, people doing anything for the internet. Just trying to be popular. I love this one, just the headline. Elephant kills 70-year-old woman and then returns to trample her corpse at the funeral. Really fucking hated that woman.
He did not like her.
No, that memory. Well, I don't know what she did, but fucking hated him. And I think that's it. There wasn't much on here this week.
How many people do you have watching right now?
13.
We're killing it.
I know.
So again. Is it better than Max's last week? Because I was just thinking you guys are really scraping the bottom of the barrel having Max and me on. You know, like you just don't want numbers for the month of June.
Not worried about numbers.
Yeah, dude, I just enjoy talking to people I like.
Yep.
And sometimes I don't enjoy it at all.
I know. Like tonight,
Chris is
right?
messaging me. You look like you're having a great time, and I'm like, oh, I'm here.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start filming these by myself, but I'm gonna paint all my fingernails black, and then I'm gonna start bad mouthing experts in their field.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
You could probably make a very popular podcast out of that.
That is true.
I guarantee your numbers will be better than they are now if you do that. Because the thing is that once I saw the nails, I disregarded everything, even if it was brilliant. I saw the nails and I was like, what am I looking at? Fucking educated Brett Michaels here? Like, get the fuck out of here. You're not gonna just back the fuck off.
Well, the great thing is the whole time in that video, he'd say something and then he'd talk about how, well, he's a computer, whatever, but that he's not obviously the go-to person, but yet he's talking the whole time like he's the go-to person. And then badmouths the person who has the fucking degrees that would know the actual answers.
Well, and the thing is, I talked to a lot of people about him because I had never heard of him until I started listening to a different podcast that referred to him a lot. And I started asking people like, well, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But the people that I would ask be like, he knows a lot about a lot of stuff. And I said, but is he a doctor? And they said, not even close. Okay. so, it's just, and it's so monotone and boring throughout the whole thing. And it goes for like an hour. So you're
I fast forwarded through that. I could not sit through the whole thing.
It
didn't get better in case anyone was wondering. It was pretty much shit for 54 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyways. All right, we're at the end.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel bad. You guys go 2 hours with everybody else. Fuck you guys.
I know. Chris, what do you want to talk about?
I don't want to talk about anything.
Who has some ball python questions for Chris? Anybody in the chat want
to? No, thank God. thank God. Fucking
Chris is looking forward to answering some genetics questions about ball pythons and how to properly keep them. He wants to know about all you first-time owners. And
dude, I don't even know. I can't even figure out this cryptic clown thing. Okay, so I'm just so not the guy to even touch on this shit.
People will walk up to us at shows and they'll start talking to me and asking me, well, what genetics do you have? And I just fucking point at Rachel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't been in the snake room in 2 fucking months. I couldn't tell you what's in there.
That's the thing. Rachel, are you selling at these shows now or no?
I don't have any clutches right now.
Oh, okay.
Victor said, let's talk about hypo.
Let's talk about Super Huffman.
Right.
Corey Martin got the fucking corner on that. She cornered the market for fucking Huffman Pides, I think. That's just hypo too. Fucking white trash gene. But like hypo was like when we were coming up, it was the recessive gene that you bought just to say that you had a recessive gene in your collection. And it was like fucking $200. And I even said something on my Patreon. I was like, fucking, why would you want a snake that always looks like it's in shed? Like the same people that collect hypo probably married women that always look like they're on their periods, right? It's just like the worst fucking thing to fucking, like, why even like hypo? But I saw a nice hypo one time and I can't find it again. So it's like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. It's like fucking, I'm pretty sure I saw it, but I can't prove it. So fuck hypo too.
Chad asked if I had any big plans this summer. Robert and I are at some point going to build a reptile zoo, probably during July when my wife's not here and I'm all by myself. We're going to build a reptile zoo at my high school. So that is our plan.
Man, Chad Osborne is just like, fuck that fat cursing bastard. He's directing a question directly to you in the chat. Okay.
Well, John Grant did ask, what's the most expensive ball python you've ever bought?
You were buying them when they were expensive. Stranger?
Yeah, strangers, yeah. It was, there were 10.5 a piece, I think. And nowadays, people are blowing 20 grand on one snake. So,
yeah.
But yeah, we bought 2 strangers for 22,000 after Jesus shipping Christ. And all that.
Wow.
Yeah.
He said he paid $4,800 for a pastel female back in the day.
I just can't see John Grant spending $4,800 on anything. I love him to death, and the fact that he is cheap is what I think is great about him. And I can't see that had to kill him to give somebody $4,800.
Understand, back in the day for him was like
3 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago when he was in high school.
Yeah, but back in the, like, was it on a credit card? Because that's a lot different. Because the breeders that we used to deal with were like, we'd spend 20 grand with them, and they're like, don't send a check. Okay, go out, buy a Sports Illustrated magazine, put 20 grand in the fucking Sports Illustrated magazine, and FedEx it to me, because I don't want to deal with taxes and shit like that. So that's how we used to do it. Like remember when we were younger and we would go buy weed somewhere, and fucking we always had to go into the nastiest part of town to fucking get the weed, and we'd almost get murdered for like a $5 bag. Now you could get weed at fucking 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I didn't have to deal with that. I had my guy was delivered.
I have never smoked weed.
No,
explains a lot.
I've never actually bought any.
Look who thinks he's better than everybody else. Okay,
I don't think I am. I know I am. But anyways, John Grant said he sold that snake for $6,400. So
there you go.
I'm impressed. Yeah. He actually made money on ball pythons, Chris. That's weird.
Yeah, no, it is weird. It happens on occasion, you know.
Well, John does. I mean, he buys normals for X amount and then sells them in his store for X amount and makes money on them.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, that's how you make money with a pet store.
So why?
Because people will walk in a pet store and pay $100 for a normal, but won't buy it at a show.
Nope.
For $20.
Right. No, we should get everybody to call John Grant for when they want to wholesale their shit animals.
That's true. John Grant just becomes the ball python depot.
Right.
Hey, as long as he could sell them, I don't think he would care.
Yeah,
that is true. He's just selling like 20 lots to Cobra and King Snake owners. Like, here you go.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the best. That's like going down to Daytona and they sell 50 bananas for what equates to $10 a piece. Right. So crazy. Fucking $500, you get 50 bananas now.
Wow.
So,
but if you own a pet store, you'll sell every one of those bananas for absolutely. $200 to $300.
Say for about $300.
Yeah.
Fucking ball pythons. Speaking of ball pythons, I think I'm going to try to breed them this year.
So I'll let the snakes breed each other.
Well, you know, I like to get a little handsy.
Yeah.
But no, I think I'm going to try my first clutch of ball pythons ever.
What are you pairing?
It's gonna be.
They don't give a fuck.
I know it's gonna be an inchy female.
2 snakes
to banana pie.
Okay, so cobra food. You're gonna make some cobra food.
I'm hoping to make inchy banana het pies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
all right. Yeah. In 13 years, you might be able to get an actual inchy banana pie. So get the fuck out of here. You're part
I
of
don't
the
plan on
problem.
making any money on it at all.
But then you're
going to loan me the banana pie. Though,
yes,
right?
like this dude last week that got 2 eggs from a female and hit like a fucking quadruple recessive visual, like a visual.
Yeah, hit the odds
in one of them, and the other egg didn't make it. It was fucking dead in the egg. So that one egg, I think he got 6 eggs. 4 were bad immediately or slugs. Mm-hmm. One only made it like right to the end, and it was dead when he ended up cutting it, and he hit 4 fucking recessive visuals though.
And I had
in that one goddamn snake, and I'm like,
I didn't get anything I wanted out of the pairing.
Yeah, that was probably some fucking lowbrow contributing 0 in the hobby. Like we excelled when we had the ball python business. We excelled at the low end clutch, right? Like if the clutch could be worth $800 or $10,000. We were killing it at that $800 price point, and did that probably 30 or 40 times. We literally never hit the $10,000 clutch.
I always find it funny at certain shows. So, you know, like Heidi and Jack have high end ball pythons on the table, but they also have like a $200 whatever. And at certain shows, you can always tell they're not selling the $4,000 snake at this show. Nope. And so, like this weekend, Heidi comes by, I was like, how many have you sold? 1. I was like, was it cheap? Yep. People will do it. They go around, they'll buy the cheap shit all day long.
I also don't think that people are spending $4 and $10 grand at the shows anymore because they'll just buy it on Morph Market.
That's the thing. Like Heidi and Jack, if they have a bad show, that's fine. They're going to go home during the week and make like 5 times that on Morph Market.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So I want to get some of my stuff on Morph Market now, but now it's just so fucking hot. I don't really want to ship anything. Like that's my only problem right now. Like our shipping window is small.
When do you guys have to wait for that 100-degree weather to go down?
Late September.
September.
And then
fucking crazy.
And then it gets too cold somewhere around December.
So sometimes we'll get our first cold front like that second week of around the 15th of September. And sometimes it's like October 5th. Sometimes on Halloween, you're sweating your ass off. And sometimes on Halloween, you're fucking freezing cold. Okay. It's so weird here.
Yeah.
I hate it. I don't know why we live here.
When is Arlington? September, right?
September
24th and 25th.
It should be comfortable. It's like it was snowing at last Arlington.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I walked outside and I'm like, holy fuck. Because it didn't feel that cold outside. But
we'll be there because it's Rachel's birthday weekend, her 40th birthday weekend.
Oh, man, she's old.
And Chris will be there, supposedly.
And
I'm going to come to Arlington. We're also going down to Tennessee in September and Georgia to visit Justin and Brittany and Shane and all those other guys. But I want to make it down to Texas also because, but I don't want to record at the show or anything like that. Like that's fucking a ridiculous amount of work for very little payoff. So
I like recording the shows because then we don't have to record that week.
Yeah. So I'm trying to record several at Arlington just so we can have a few weeks off afterwards.
Right. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
All right. Let's wrap this shit up.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm starving. I haven't had dinner.
Chris, if people want to, you don't want them to reach out to you, how can they just listen to you? That's probably your best bet.
The Snakes and a Fat Man on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube, and Instagram, and TikTok, and fucking Facebook.
TikTok.
I got one video up on TikTok.
I think so I don't watch anything on YouTube, but it's funny listening to your episodes now when I listen to podcasts because it's made for video. So you hear you talk about something that's showing and I'm like, bitched at me for talking about things on that people can't see. And now you're talking about shit that I can't see.
Doing the video was the worst decision that I could have made. I hate doing it, but I told the sponsors that I would do it for a year. So, but I think in 2023, I'll go back to just audio and then do one, like a video special every week or every month, like the leveling up thing or the Hot Chicks episode, because this video thing is a pain in the ass.
Yes. Yeah, the only reason we have videos is just because we record this live and so it goes on YouTube, but I don't do anything once it's there.
Yeah, it's just the worst, man. And still my audio numbers are better than what they used to be. So now the YouTube numbers are just additions to that. Yeah. So the sponsors are happy because I didn't charge them anymore and still did a commercial where their logo is on screen. But YouTube, if you don't pay that $10 a month or whatever, when people are listening to it on their phones, as soon as their phone fucking goes into sleep mode, it cuts off the podcast.
Yeah.
So, I'm well aware that when people listen to me, they're either cleaning shit or driving somewhere. And I really only did YouTube to kind of keep up with the kids. But I'm really, I'm definitely not loving it. Unless I get a better workflow come December, I don't want to. I'm spending 40 hours a fucking month fucking doing this dumb shit and trying to make jokes and trying to fucking it can't do it. No. So plus, I almost lost my legs a month ago, right? So fucking who's going to expect the one thing I was thinking when I was in the hospital is like, listen, there can't be two podcast guys in wheelchairs, right? So fucking, it's just not going to happen. So
okay, when is he actually coming back? Because he keeps putting out posts about I'm bringing it back.
He was saying this month.
Okay.
Yeah. He asked me to be the guest on the first episode.
What was your answer?
We'll just have to see, won't we?
Robert, if folks want to get a hold of you,
LSReptileRacks.com.
Yeah, get your racks, get them delivered to a show near you, and you don't have to pay for shipping because fucking shipping will kill you. Yep. Also, don't forget our giveaway this month. We're giving away a US ARC membership, a year-long membership. All you have to do is go over to our Facebook page and tell us the favorite guests. We've had 120 episodes. Chris has been on here twice now. So
I think James said he's paying for a gold membership. I mean silver. Sorry.
No. No.
Paper. Like the paper membership.
Cellophane.
Well, why don't you just give the winner $40 then?
I'd rather give it to US ARC.
I'd rather give it to US ARC.
Yeah. Don't you think that anybody who's entering the contest is already a member of US ARC?
Probably, but I would gladly have someone pay for my next year's membership.
Yep.
Well, what I'm saying is I challenge you to up it to silver, and I'll do it too.
Do they cost money? And I'm paying for this.
I think so. $1,000.
That's expensive.
Yeah, I know. I got to sell a lot of shirts to hit $1,000. So fucking.
What's a shirt? We won't have shirts.
Well, I wish we did.
I know. I'm working on. I'm not really working.
I know. You're working on it. It's the summer. I know.
It'll happen.
And the reason we started late today is because James took too long on his nap.
I did too.
That he had this afternoon and didn't get shit set up. So that's how hard he's working on it.
I had to sit at Walmart for almost 3 hours a day to get tires. So, by the way, that's a very boring place to hang out for a large chunk of the day.
Yep.
Yeah. Luckily, they had a McDonald's.
That's why.
I'm sorry.
Back home.
Yep.
I'm sorry you had to sit at Walmart on your day off.
I mean, I had to.
It's my month off, but
it's 3 months off.
It's a month. It's 2 months now. It keeps getting shorter and shorter.
They bring y'all back like the second week of August now, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, where the rest of the country comes back like after Labor Day or something. I think outside of the South, it's like after Labor Day is when everybody goes back to school. The South has always been like, nah, let's come back when it's still hot. It's cool.
Yeah.
But all right. That's it for us. We will be back next week. Come and go to the North Richland Hill. Yeah, that show in Arlington, Dallas area. You just go find it. It's the Lone Star Show. Say hi to Robert. I'll be hanging out at my house this weekend because I'm not traveling this weekend. Fuck that. I'm tired of it. That's it. Thanks, Chris, for coming on. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Good night.